Hey, it's your home, and I need to ask you a few favors. In the kitchen, there's a spider stuck between the window and the screen, and I know it's dead, and technically it's outside, but it's still freaking me out. Can you flick it out or something? Also, just to save some money, and it's super easy, could you bundle your home and car insurance with Geico? Last thing, could you take the holiday decorations down? Yeah, I'm one of those.
Geico. For bundling made easy, go to geico.com today.
Thank you, Christian Horner. Your interesting statements have finally given us much needed dope for this week's episode of the Inside Line Formula One podcast.
Before we proceed, here's a big welcome to all our listeners. We've loved your feedback on our video, and like everything else in Formula One, we promise to get better and better.
Back to Christian Horner. He said that Hamilton was desperate to join Red Bull Racing in 2012.
Horner's other interesting comment was that he urged Mercedes to sign up Hamilton to destroy Mclaren. Very interesting team politics of Formula One. But you know, Kunal, I am wondering who urged McLaren to sign up Honda.
But I do wonder, what if Hamilton had actually joined Red Bull Racing back then? I mean, let's speculate this. So in my view, there are two scenarios we could build on. First, Hamilton joining as Vettel's teammate, and second, Hamilton replacing Vettel.
If Hamilton joined as Vettel's teammate, we would have a real Vettel versus Hamilton battle. That too in equal machinery.
It could have also meant that Mark Webber would have had to retire early. Not bad for a number two.
And while that championship battle would have been a very interesting one, I'm sure most of our listeners will believe that Hamilton would have won these contests against Vettel with much ease.
That would also mean that Hamilton would have become a 3-time world champion much earlier than he finally did. Okay, now let me speculate some more. What if Hamilton's move to Red Bull Racing prompted Vettel to join Mercedes? You know, baby Schumi replacing the Schumi?
Well, in that case, Vettel would have still been a quadruple world champion, almost certainly aiming for his 5th in 2016. But the one thing we would have missed, Kunal, is the Hamilton-Lauda bromance.
And, given Red Bull's varied investments in sports, lifestyle, and music, maybe and just maybe Hamilton's music career could have taken off much earlier.
And maybe then he and Nicole wouldn't have broken up.
Ouch.
Maybe they'd have launched their first record-breaking duel number together.
But Mithila, it's time to get back to reality. Hamilton does seem to be missing Nicole. He's been vocal about it on social media. But that's what we call him, Motormouth Hamilton.
Meanwhile, Hamilton sent tongues wagging by ditching his Mercedes to drive a LaFerrari a few days ago.
I don't blame him. Hamilton is used to painting the town red with his wild partying ways. Just that this time he's done the same to his car.
But shouldn't his Mercedes driver contract restrict Lewis from driving a rival team car on the roads?
In that case, I am just glad he isn't racing for Red Bull. His contract would have then restricted him from consuming rival beverages like vodka.
Well, Lewis took his wild ways off track to a new high this week. Kunal, he posed with a tiger cub.
And while Hamilton seems to be relaxing in the off-season, McLaren say that they worked through Christmas to better their car for 2016.
Imagine working through the holidays for a season that won't offer too many holidays anyway. But we do believe that Fernando Alonso, he's had enough holidays in 2015. He drove the least number of laps all season.
The other driver working hard through the break is Max Verstappen. He was busy driving a Red Bull racing car up the ski slopes.
Red Bull's unique ways of promoting the sport is just what Formula One would have missed had they quit the sport. Thank you, Red Bull, for staying.
Thank you. And Williams believe that Mercedes have chinks in their armor which can be exploited in 2016. Now, this comes from a team that has little armor in their chinks anyway.
But they claim that the new Williams racing car for 2016 is the biggest evolution yet. I sure hope that they can back their package up with bold tyre strategy as well.
Funnily enough, Valtteri Bottas said that he has had no preference regarding Williams, Ferrari, or wait for it, Mercedes.
I am not surprised that he didn't add McLaren to that list. Though I'm sure he grew up watching his fellow Finns winning races with McLaren.
He didn't include Red Bull Racing in this either. I guess that's because Finns prefer their vodka over everything else.
I think we've had a little too much of vodka references off late. Or as Lewis Hamilton would say, we've had a lot of vodka.
You know, our latest video episode, Vodka Shots on the Formula One podium, is ready for your viewing on our YouTube channel and the Facebook page.
We've had a host of F1 talent signing up for Manor Racing in 2016. Kunal, I think they must be drunk.
The team launched a new logo. They've in fact had a new team at the helm too. Tombasis, who was sacked by Ferrari in 2014, is their new chief aerodynamicist.
I wonder how and why people would join Manor. After your stint with Force India, would you?
Interesting question. The answer, I guess, is yes. You know, anything to stay in the world of Formula One. You never know if the team gets lucky and scores points. You never know if the team gets bought out by a manufacturer. You know, very few jobs offer as much respect and fun as the ones in Formula One.
And it isn't just Manor. People are joining McLaren Honda too.
I think here too you should be wondering if people are drunk enough to be joining McLaren Honda.
Well, even if they are, I doubt it is on Johnny Walker.
So McLaren Honda will have a new CEO who has won multiple World Rally Championships for Volkswagen. And Renault is rumored to be hiring ART's boss as well.
Is this all even important?
Well, yes, a little bit. So Formula One has usually seen the same talent jump multiple teams with very few outsiders being allowed inside. Case in point, Adrian Newey. He won with Williams, McLaren, and then with Red Bull Racing. Eric Boulier too came from Lotus F1 Team, and I am very glad that non-Formula One names are being hired for the top job. You know, it gives me some bit of hope too.
Well, on that note, I'm going to start a hopeless happenings of the week section for this episode. Well, firstly, there's news that refuelling might make a return to Formula One in 2017.
I wonder if F1 thinks these random suggestions before making them, only to backtrack later.
Secondly, engine sounds are going to be louder in 2016.
You know, I really hope that happens. Sport, after all, is about the visual and the acoustics it offers to fans. The clink of the golf ball, the screeching of the shoes in basketballs, and the likes.
Thirdly, Force India. The news of the reported on-off deal with Aston Martin should be called Aston-off Martin. Fourth, Hülkenberg and Perez. Will this or won't this be their breakthrough year?
And of course, for Kevin Magnussen, is there any hope in him talking to Renault?
Finally, there doesn't seem to be any hope at all for a female driver in Formula One, especially after Ecclestone and Hill's hopeless remarks.
You should be just very glad that there is a lot of hope for a female co-host on the Inside Line Formula One podcast. Anyway, I was actually aghast when Toto Wolff made a hopeless comment that his wife Suzie was good enough to race for a midfield team. I really wonder if that's flattering or insulting.
Well, before we sign off, a big thank you to the Pope. Thank you for offering your prayers to Michael Schumacher's recovery.
And here's also congratulating Force India's junior driver Jehan Daruwala on his maiden Formula car win. Living the Formula One dream, he is.
Woo!
"15 minutes could save you 15% or more."
Is that Shakespeare?
Nope, it's Geico.
Yeah, that's Shakespeare from one of his unpublished works. Oh, it be not for awakening. Nay, giveth thou the berries. For 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
No, it's from Geico, 'cause they help save people money.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but Geico got it from Shakespeare.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.